Welcome to another episode of Naija Football Talk, and I'm back in your faces after a 1 week break where this man decided to take my job from me, but Messi said no. I don't mean Messi the player, but you know what I mean. Thank you once again for joining us on this week's episode of Naija Football Talk. I'm your host Chima, and as usual I have Kolade and Bolu with me on set to dissect all of the action from Europe's top 5 leagues from this past game week. It was quite a wonderful week. I mean, Liverpool lost, something that a lot of people did not see coming. And West Ham not just won, but they won convincingly, outplaying Liverpool. And it was such a wonderful match, such an interesting match. And, a lot of things happened. And we're going to go straight into it when we come back from this short break. Stay with us.
Looking for the best websites for your next game day stake? TopBets.com.ng has the juice on all of Nigeria's best gaming websites from Nigeria's biggest gaming companies. Compare the odds and markets and make the best choice for you before you make your next stake. Check out game day reviews, previews, top tips, and predictions to help you make the best choice.
Welcome back to another episode of Naija Football Talk. It's still me, Chima, here, and I'm with Kolade and Bolu. And like I said earlier, we're going to be dissecting the action from this past weekend. There was plenty, but we're going to start off with FPL. I mean, at this point in time, I think I'm going to hang my boots after this season. I'm just going to leave it at that. At this point in time, after this season, I'm no longer an FPL manager because I'm tired. How was your week, Kolade?
This weekend was something to forget for, I think, a lot of managers because the usual suspects. I mean, thankfully Salah gave 5 points, but I had Aubameyang. Please, why did you miss that penalty? This guy missed a penalty and he got a yellow card. I had -1 for having Aubameyang in my team. So, but aside that, Smith Rowe is the gift that continues. I've had in my team for
proven to be a great
straight weeks,
differential
and boom, that's just it for me.
Well, he's
and
playing
this guy's Chelsea. I had Mendy and Chilwell. Just imagine.
and they decided to mess up this week. Well, it's a rarity.
It happens.
Yeah, it's a rarity. How was
At
your
least
week?
you got so many points from them beforehand.
How was your week?
I'm just grateful that I got over the average 42 points this week because the average for this game week was 42 points, and I'm glad I didn't get up to 50. I got 49.
I got 47 points.
Thankfully, I'm still rising on the Naija Football Talk League still, so not bad. But now it's beginning to get to the point where Salah captaincy, he still gives points for the assists he's done.
You will not put that doubt in my head.
I think we're beginning to get that prelude of when he goes to Africa.
I'm sticking with Salah captaincy. I'm sticking with Salah captaincy.
Yeah, Cancelo was one of the highest.
You will not put that doubt in me. Cancelo, Trent, yes, those they will deliver, but I'm still sticking with Salah captaincy. All right, let's move on straight into the action
just quick
of the
one,
week.
Chima, I just like the fact that you didn't dwell so much on irrelevant games. You talked about in your intro. You mentioned West Ham, Liverpool instead of.
There's a reason why I'm wearing.
I like that.
There's a reason why I'm wearing. Personally, there's a reason why I'm wearing the Ajax jersey today, because I'm trying to channel the energy from that beautiful song, Three Little Birds, that says, "Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright."
When Xavi is 50 years old.
Yeah, good.
All right, let's move on straight. Starting with Arsenal. I mean, the renaissance. I mean, the revolution. Everything is now being televised for the world to see. From relegation strugglers to back into their usual spot as top 4 contenders. I mean, Arsenal is now, they are now doing things that people expected them to have been doing since, but they were not doing. But now they are back into doing it, and it's still surprising a lot of us because it's still the same set of players, the same manager, but the mentality at the club has changed. So what's up with that, Kolade? What do you think?
I think like we said, a matter of time before, it was just about I said it before when we lost 3 games to the season that it was a bit of an overreaction because many of our key players were not back. Gabriel and Co and some other guys, Partey, Aubameyang, they were not available, and since Gabriel came into the team, I think we played 10 games and we've had 7 clean sheets in those 10 games. So all the players are beginning to find their strength, and also the lack of European football is a blessing in disguise. The likes of Chelsea,
I agree.
United and Co, they have to worry about rotating their squad for
But we have the have a capable squad to do it.
Yeah, fine, you have a capable
Yeah,
squad,
yeah,
no
yeah,
doubt.
you do.
But in this case, it is proving to be a blessing in disguise because Arteta can start his best team week in, week out
without
having
issues.
to be
Without having to be worried.
So I think at this point, Arsenal can just, if they can keep on their stride, who knows, top four.
It's a matter of consistency for Arsenal.
Don't say it out loud, but we are just 6 points off Chelsea.
I mean, it's already loud because people are going to
hear.
Don't say it loud.
There's still 28 odd games to go.
Yeah,
27.
sure.
Well, it's league football. Everybody's going to drop points at some point. So let us just, for the sake of sanity, let's hope that Arsenal does not catch up to you. I mean,
no, they can't. We all just know that it's one of those.
I have my own biases against Chelsea, but Colade's shamelessness is something we cannot deal with.
Don't worry, the crew will always rise to the top.
Yes, so
and the shaft will always go down.
All right, let's move on straight into Manchester United. I mean, you can tell already. It was a result everybody expected. It was a result that the world expected. Like there was no how that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was going to beat this Manchester City. Although in the past 3 seasons they've managed to pull off some upsets that shocked everybody, but this time around everybody expected nothing less, and Manchester City delivered. Even at some point it felt like they were no longer trying, like they were just sitting back
and
then they were just enjoying themselves, controlling.
I was so sad that Guardiola made 0 subs.
0 subs in the game. That's so disrespectful.
No single
sub.
That
is so disrespectful.
At the back of their neighbor's garden.
I mean, no player got tired.
That was just so freaking disrespectful. If I was Ole, I would not have shook his hand after the game. That was a very disrespectful thing to do. But let's look at Ole and his captain Maguire. I mean, this young man has been
80 million man
has been putting in very questionable performances. I don't want to use some very colorful words.
He always has.
I don't want to use some very colorful words, so I'll just say questionable performances. And he's still starting over.
Not just starting, he's the captain.
And he's the captain. He's still starting over deserving players, and he's also the captain of the squad. It is something that even neutral fans cannot fathom, not to think of Manchester United fans. So why do you think Maguire is like undroppable right now?
First of all, I'll go back to your statement. You said starting over deserving players. Who deserves? Is it Phil Jones? Is it Bailly? Is it Lindelof?
Point.
It's just a reflection of the standards of Man United now. That a player who has how many relegations had he been through in his career before he signed for mine? About 2 or so thereabouts. His biggest club literally was Leicester City. You bought it from Leicester for a record fee and made him your captain within 6 months.
6 months.
It's absurd to think of Manchester United appointing a captain like that. How is a Manchester United captain? How come he has never lifted a trophy in his career? A Manchester United captain. It is unimaginable to see the depth that Manchester United have got to now, and Maguire is just the perfect representation of that. Maguire is the captain, Ole is the manager. That's the reality.
It's really representative of where they are right now, footballing wise, and I also think mentality wise too, because you can something really hilarious just happened backstage.
I'm getting so much heat from the United fans behind the camera.
I mean, well,
it's very to see the tears.
It's very representative of where they are right now, footballing wise and mentality wise, and who knows, maybe a change in captaincy could do it for them on the pitch, even if he's not doing it.
So as long as always at the backstage, wheel, man, nothing is happening.
Well, sometimes the captain can actually influence games. Bringing in his leadership and all of that. I mean, Messi did that. Messi did that a lot for us last season.
Hold on, please. If you say United should change their captain, would it be to return it back to De Gea or return to Pogba or Rashford or who? Or
as a neutral fan, I think.
He doesn't see anybody else doing it.
As a neutral fan, I think they could capitalize on Ronaldo's presence in the squad.
Ronaldo's never been a captain, a club captain material.
That's the thing. I just feel they could capitalize on his presence right now, and use. If he give him that power, to be able to shout out others the way he normally does, I think it could spoil a change.
If Ronaldo starts screaming, Wan-Bissaka would have to go off the team.
All right, let's look at Manchester City. I mean, we saw how Guardiola literally disrespected them by not even putting out a sub for that game. But the major talking point is the fact that he finally beat Ole Gunnar after 3 seasons. I mean, even when City was picking up points, winning the titles and destroying other teams, they just couldn't get over the hurdle of Ole and Manchester United.
I think Ole has beaten Guardiola like almost the most.
Yeah, he's the manager that has beaten
Yeah.
Guardiola the most in his coaching career, basically. So, what did he do in this match that he wasn't doing in the past games that he lost to Ole?
He didn't really do anything. It was Manchester United. They were just bad.
They had to be the.
I mean, just look at the goal from. But the Man U fans were shouting, "Oh, Bailey!" They put him in there. What did he do? Own goal. He was hooked at halftime. And what did Ole do? He changed his formation. Why do you change your formation at halftime? Thinking, oh, this is going to help us, and it backfired again. The second goal was even comical.
Because everybody just looked at the ball go.
From Maguire to Shaw to De Gea.
Everybody just looked at the ball go all the way to Bernardo.
Go all the way in. So I don't think it was Manchester City really doing anything. It was just Manchester United being poor. I saw a stat that said Manchester United players had more shots on De Gea than they did against Ederson.
And they only touched the ball 4 times in Manchester City's box.
In the second half, they didn't even touch the ball in City's box.
At
Ederson was a spectator all through. So that just showed that Man United didn't even put in a fight. So it was more of their
ineptitude than Manchester City's. Interesting.
Yeah.
So looking at Joao Cancelo, I mean, Pep has always been big on fullbacks. I mean, that's the position he spends the most money on, and in all the teams he has coached. That's the team position that he has focused on the most. But we're looking at how much Joao Cancelo is really affecting their team right now. He's probably one of the most prominent fullbacks that has played under Pep Guardiola, with number-wise, of course. Not speaking of talent-wise, but number-wise. So do you think he's taking a leaf out of Klopp's book by putting a lot more prominence this time around on wing play, using Cancelo as case study?
It's not, let me correct that statement. It's not taking a leaf out of Klopp's book. It's right out of Guardiola's book himself. Because last season, from start of last season, we saw how part of the reasons why City won the league last season from a very bad start to the season was because Pep tweaked the system a bit more to be able to control the ball during the pandemic realities and control possession using an inverted fullback as a false forward, and having that defensive balance still with Diaz. So it was something that it was a role Cancelo had been playing last season, and now that he's their versatile fullback, he plays on both sides. So now that whenever Cancelo is playing, he's playing that same role on either side, and I think now he's just added a bit more efficiency to his game. He's a bit more consistent attacking wise, because we always knew that Cancelo had the talent. He's always had the technical quality. Cancelo passes like a number 10. He makes some passes from deep, and I can't believe that it's a defender that made that pass. You think it's Ronaldinho that made the pass. And right now he's in good form. He has made 5 assists, scored 2 goals this season. He's improving. So I think
he had an hat-trick of assists.
In the Champions League. Yeah, he's been absolutely balling in Champions League. 3 assists, 2 goals in the Champions League so far this season. So I think it's just that consistency that's beginning to show in his game, the consistency in the attacking areas, that people are now beginning to realize, oh yeah, he's up there with Trent and Rich James as well.
I like that use. You just put in with James.
Rich James is there, of course.
You must do small shameless.
Says the man who has Cedric as his right back.
I have Tomiyasu.
How many goals has Tomiyasu scored in his career?
He has never put in a wrong foot.
Tomiyasu has been
He has not
flawless.
put in a wrong foot.
Not Tomiyasu.
All right, let us look at another.
Not even Tierney.
let us look at another midfield player. I mean, 3 seasons ago it was KDB. Last season it was 2 seasons ago. Sorry, it was KDB. Last season it was Gundogan. This season is Bernardo Silva. So what are your thoughts on Bernardo Silva and City this season?
Yeah, Guardiola has said that at his time at City, Bernardo Silva will remain one of his most important players. To we that watch the game, we might not really see why, because it looks like, De Bruyne and the likes are the ones running the show. But if you actually watch City, you understand how this guy brings so much balance to attacking wise and defensive wise as well. He has that good contrast.
He's so versatile as well.
Yeah, he's so versatile. He can play in a number
wing,
of positions.
10, left,
all over the place. And I'm actually surprised that no club has picked him up.
Yep.
I'm actually surprised that no club has picked him up. I thought he was going to move this summer, but then I also understand why City...
Bernardo come to Barca.
I also understand why City will be reluctant to sell a player like that in a situation where De Bruyne gets injured, which we have seen a lot of times this season.
True.
Bernardo Silva is somebody that can take up that midfield responsibility. So he's a very important player under Guardiola.
A very important player, a very talented player as well. And, for fans of good football, neutral fans like us, long may it continue. But we're also looking forward to the team that's going to stop Manchester City, because, it's not fair for them to just be, winning all the time. All right, let's move over to Chelsea, the team that literally ruined a lot of FPL teams.
And betting tickets.
Because nobody really expected them to draw to Burnley at home. But that's what happened. Sean Dyche came and, locked up everywhere and showed Tuchel the real origins of haram football. And the match ended in a 1-1 draw. So let's first look at this. In the last time I was on set, I mentioned the fact that Tuchel's system had didn't really prioritize attackers, and it showed again this game week. So what are your thoughts? Do you think there is something Tuchel is not doing? Do you think there is something he is doing wrong?
If you take the Burnley game in isolation, I think that's false, because we created 25 chances on the day.
But your attackers did not work.
Yeah, and we just couldn't take our chances. And in fact, that 25 chances was a record. That was the first time we had so many chances in the game and didn't win since 2017 against Crystal Palace. So we actually had enough chances. We just unfortunately couldn't take them. Unfortunately, couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And that can happen on any day. That happens to several teams.
Yeah, happens to the best teams too.
Specifically, especially if you're hosting, but it happens a lot. So I think if you take the match in isolation, it's not. Yeah, considering Chelsea's form, it was a surprise. But then, if it's Burnley, and Burnley just got their first win of the season the
2 games ago.
Yeah, so they are riding on that wave of momentum. That's how Burnley do. That's what they do. That's essentially what they do all the time. So I'm not really. Yeah, it was shocking to see the game and not win. But then, looking at the bigger picture, I still top of the table. Lukaku and Werner are coming back after the international break, so at least they'll be. we know that our attackers will be there to score the goals, so we won't have those worries at least.
All right. So, what do you think about Chelsea's defense? So far, so good. In all of Europe, they've conceded the fewest goals, and it's looking like they're probably going to end the season from a neutral standpoint. But seeing what happened against Burnley. It's possible. It's now there's a possibility now that teams are going to score, and they are going to score a lot more. Especially looking at Europe as they progress in the Champions League, they are sure to meet the big teams like Bayern Munich and all of that, who are goal scoring machines. So, do you think that Chelsea can end the season the way they started?
Okay, talking about their defense here, I'm trying to be objective when I say Chelsea still have one of the most organized defenses in Europe. And when I look at that Burnley game, you will notice that when Chelsea conceded the goal, the defenders, they were so you see the look like of disappointment on their faces, and they felt they were trying to keep the offside trap, but that didn't work, and that was Burnley for that matter. And it was at the time where Chelsea were dominating possession, so they were just caught on an unlucky break. But what I can just take from that game is the fact that, this season, I've been telling Chelsea fans that they will concede a lot. I'm not talking about their position on the Premier League table, but they will concede a lot. I saw a report saying, Chelsea are on course to break their 15 goals conceded in a single season, saying they will concede 11 just at this rate. What happens when Mendy goes on AFCON and Sergeant Kepa
is back in the sticks?
Kepa comes in the behind the sticks. So I can see Chelsea conceding a lot actually, especially when there's an influx of games, December period and all of that. But I still think their defense is a very solid unit. The fact that they don't just defend but they score as well. With James is proven to be a modern fullback is doing his job. So but they will concede a lot of goals, and that's a given.
Tuchel was right when he said he's going to build a team that everybody will be afraid to play against, and they are proving to be that team. So you've heard it all. We've had a lot of things to talk about. There's still a lot to talk about, but we can only take so much on this week's episode of Naija Football Talk. And if you want to continue the conversation, make sure you hit us up on our social media. Drop your comments on everything we've said today on our YouTube channel. Comment, please. Please do not ratio us. We really appreciate if you can, share your honest thoughts with us, and let us know what you think about everything we've discussed. When we come back from this short break, we'll be looking at matters from other leagues. Stay with us.
Looking for the best websites for your next game day stake? Topbets.com.ng has the juice on all of Nigeria's best gaming websites from Nigeria's biggest gaming companies. Compare the odds and markets and make the best choice for you before you make your next stake. Check out game day reviews, previews, top tips, and predictions to help you make the best choice.
Thank you for staying with us up to this point in time on this week's episode of Naija Football Talk. My name is Chima and I still have Kolade and Bolu with me on set. And thanks to our sponsors, topbets.com.ng, for helping us to keep this show on air. And thank you for your subscription. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing our content. And for those of you who are just viewing for the first time, or you're just viewing for the second time, or you're a returning viewer, please subscribe if you haven't. I'm very sure you're going to enjoy all of the content, all of the banter that we're going to be serving you on this very wonderful football channel. And yeah, we're going straight into talk from other league, but we're going to be focusing on just one major talking point. There were a lot of action. I mean, there was a Grand Derby, Sevilla Betis, which ended in a 2-0 win for Sevilla. There was also the Milan Derby, which ended in a 1-1 draw, which saw some wonderful action. Ibrahimovic almost scored a replica of the free kick he scored the week before, but it was a very wonderful save from Handanovic. PSG won 3-2 with a leaky defense as usual, and Mbappe having to carry the team on his head. I wonder where they're going to be if that guy gets injured, man. It's quite shameful to see how PSG is struggling with their star-studded squad. So there was a lot of beautiful action from all across Europe, but we're going to be focusing on one talking point, which is Xavi's appointment as the coach of Barcelona FC. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm wearing this Ajax jersey to remind myself, to put myself in the mood.
You can't forget
that things are going to be all right.
Yeah, a Barca fan. Forget that one.
Well, it's going to be a long, hard road, man. Even with Xavi, we're not expecting something miraculous to happen.
I don't know why you're so excited. Miguel plays right back. Miguel and Dest at right back.
Well, I'm just happy at least. There's a wind of change. There's a wind of change blowing.
What do you expect to do?
There's a wind of change blowing. There's a wind of change blowing. I mean, when change is happening,
it changed from 9th position to 6th position.
It's a possibility. I mean, if we, as far as we are living 9th, it's progress. So, what do you think about the appointment, Kolade?
What do I think in what sense? You have to be specific. You have to be specific.
All right, Xavi has now come to replace Koeman, inheriting the same squad, obviously, but he's starting off with 11 injured players. So, do you think there's anything that Xavi should be thinking of doing right now to change the fortunes of the team?
There's not much Xavi can do at the moment, unfortunately. The only positive for Xavi is that being a club legend, it brings a feel-good factor back to the club.
Koeman was a club legend.
But this will soon.
Koeman was the one who won us our first Champions League.
Xavi is still much more recent. It's still a much more recent legend. So there's still that feel-good factor. But then this fades away quickly. You can ask Chelsea fans and Frank Lampard. They will tell you all about that.
Ask Man U fans as well.
And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
They will tell you. So my biggest fear for Xavi is that he's coming. He was very brilliant with Al-Sadd, but no offense, but that was the Saudi Arabian league,
the Qatari league.
This is
La Liga. This is top 5 league. Yeah.
So I'm just struggling to see what style of play is he going to bring. Most importantly, what players.
Tiki-taka is back.
Is he going to work with Busquets used to be one of the most reliable players. Now in the last match, you saw what he did. He was at fault for about 2 goals. He was lucky. One of the goals did not count, or it could have been 4-3.
At least he scored.
Yeah, he scored, but then he still had a very awful match to forget. So I'm looking at, and now 11 players are injured. I think Fati pulled out injured again in his last match, so it's not looking good for Barca at the moment. I think it was a good move where it was a wrong timing.
Good move but wrong timing. I mean, but like I said, there's a wind of change blowing, and we Barca fans are just happy that something that looks like a little bit of positivity is coming.
If you're in Nigeria and you need change, it's not always the best time. Wind of change, okay?
All right, all right, let us look at Xavi's potential. Let us look at Xavi's potential as a manager. I mean, he's already a serial winner with our side. He has won 8 trophies in his 3 years as a manager there, which is the most for any
He has
manager.
won a trophy this season.
Also, yeah, he's still basically, I mean, new winner smell is still on him. So he has a very high ceiling, a very high potential, and he's also one of the most decorated managers in the league, despite in the Qatari league, despite just playing only 3 years there. So what do you think is his ceiling now that he's coming into? What do you think are the challenges he will face, and what do you think he can actually achieve here? Do you think he's going to win a trophy in, the coming seasons, or do you think he's just here to stable the ship?
Did you just mention Baka and trophy?
Yes,
In the same
yes.
sentence.
I mean, Koeman even won a trophy last season. So
Whatever Xavi wants to do or achieve on the pitch, he has to hope and pray and beg Laporta that everything is all right on the
financial
behind
side.
the scenes as well, because the organization of the club is also important right now.
Currently it's
Financially,
shit, so
the flow of talents through the doors, flow of new signings,
the
quality
medical personnel.
quality signings. So all that matters before you now talk of success on the pitch, achieving consistency or being able to build anything. Because personally, I think the players in Barcelona starting 11 are not good enough for Barcelona. I really do think so. Yes, young players. As fans, it's exciting for you guys to see your young stars, but these boys are 17, 18, 19 years old. You can't expect too much from them. Not everybody is Mbappe, not everybody is Ansu Fati. That's the truth. You can't expect too much from all these boys. You have to be able to rely on quality players, and this is Barcelona. You have to actually have the best of the best. And even the sad thing is that the experienced guys at Barcelona, the ones that should be relied upon, they haven't passed it. Guys like Piqué,
Really passed it.
These guys are past it. Aguero, and that's what really worries me, because even if you're saying, okay, trying to build with young players, even the experienced guys you should rely on, they should be top quality, but they are not right now. They are not the most revered in Europe.
So do you think now that Xavi is here to win, or to just stable the ship and prepare the way for a manager who is coming to win?
Of course, he wants to establish a style, a culture back at the club. He wants to bring the DNA back to the club. But I think he will be able to win something. It's Barcelona.
It's Barcelona. Where Barcelona and trophyless are not are statements that you don't usually use all the time.
Don't get too excited, man.
I
give Xavi 6 months.
I can't get too excited, but at the same time, even Koeman won a trophy. It was a very.
Even the Allianz Cup in pre-season is a trophy, so don't get too excited.
It's a trophy, I mean.
But still, Tottenham can win a trophy.
Well, there's been a lot of action from other leagues across Europe, like I mentioned earlier, but Xavi being the Barcelona coach is overshadowing them, and good luck to him, man. Good luck to him. From a Barcelona fan who has suffered, please help us, I beg.
Xavi from a rival fan, do one for the culture. Thank you.
Please don't turn out to be an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in Barcelona. This is what we pray for. This is what we hope for.
Guy, he won't be sacked. He'll just be there.
Speaking of, you've noticed how Colade has been, really forming big man today on set. Doing
man is dripping different.
You get so. What's up now? Is it the new shirt or the new coat or
there are some kind of clothes that when you wear them, you have to drop some act behind.
I'm a classic, man.
This is a very classic. This is a classic, new classic Colade. I mean, for the past 4 weeks, I've been classic.
Wow.
And speaking of being classic here, I advise every fan out there, especially Manchester United fans, since I started buying shirts from this brand, Arsenal have not lost a game. David Blackmore is the name of this brand. Follow them on Instagram for proper classic shirt like the one I'm wearing. And it's a fact now. We've not lost in the last 10 games. Since I started getting shirts from them.
Maybe I should start getting shirts
Chima,
from them.
this is something for you to consider. All the Manchester United fans out there, you need this. Just visit David Blackmore. Speaking of being, I'm in a very good mood today. So on that note, I think we should do a giveaway for.
Wow, are we eligible?
We should know, especially not a backup.
Don't worry, Arsenal will end up out of the top 10.
We should do a giveaway for our fans, and if you would like to win, one of the very classic, nice shirt from David Blackmore, all you need to do is to drop a comment just right there below on why we should give you, and hopefully we can pick you. Just follow or subscribe to our channel and drop a comment and follow David Blackmore, the account showing on your screen on Instagram, and we'll be picking 1 or 2 lucky winners in the next episode.
All right, I guess what I'll do,
that's my gift for today.
since you already know my profile name and everything, I guess I just have to create a fake one so that I can be eligible for it.
Probably. But Manchester United fans in particular, if you have a Manchester United friend, tell them to take advantage of this brand.
I mean, they sure will. All right, thank you so much for staying with us up to this point in time. And when we come back from this short break, we'll be wrapping up the show. And it's a wrap on this week's episode of Naija Football Talk. Thank you to our sponsors, stopbets.com.ng. Thank you to our subscribers. And thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing our content thus far. Please share this one with your friends. And I'm very sure you enjoyed the discussions we had. Make sure you take advantage of the giveaway hosted by David Blackmore and our big man here, forming classy, Kolade, who is about to give out a few David Blackmore shirts. So make sure you comment why you need the shirt on our YouTube channel, but follow David Blackmore, follow Naija Football Talk on Twitter and Instagram, and also subscribe to our channel if you already haven't. Thank you once again for joining us on this week's episode of Naija Football Talk. And until we come your way with another beautiful one, my name is Chima from Kolade and Bulu. Stay jiggy.